97 cases in the past 3 years. And I have freed over 97 people and had their cases dismissed. Innocent people. I only represent innocent people. Okay? And I won all the cases, every single one. Okay? Thank you. And while I was doing those cases, I found out about prosecutorial misconduct. I found out something that I never knew, not even as a police officer. Did you know that a district attorney can falsify charges on this white woman wearing a purple shirt and hold her in jail for 2 years and then know that she's innocent and nothing can be done to that district attorney? They have immunity. How can you have immunity for committing a crime? How can you have immunity of holding back evidence? You tell me one person in this room that doesn't see a news article at least every other month or once a year of somebody who's been in jail for 10 or 20 years and shouldn't have been there because of prosecutorial misconduct. So you release that man, he lost 20 years of his life, but nothing happens to the prosecutor. How can I have a system? How can I be in a country, which I love as much as my mother, that doesn't have oversight over the prosecutors, that doesn't have oversight over the police department, that doesn't have oversight over the Department of Corrections? But we can have oversight over the President of the United States. This country is based on a system of checks and balances, where the legislative branch checks the executive branch and the judicial branch. We've seen that, all right? We've seen it happen with the president, okay? But it doesn't happen here nationwide in our judicial systems. And this is why I wrote a template for a new agency that I call the Department of Civilian Justice, okay? And I went to a guy who many of you might know. His name is Frank Serpico. And I said, you know what, Frank? You're either in this with me or you're in it with me. Because you started this in 1971 saying that we need an independent body. But what Frank didn't do, he didn't write this. He asked for the City Council of New York to create what I'm holding. They never did. It hasn't changed since 1970. They call you a spit in front of your face in the 70s. Now they just do it behind closed doors. Social racism is still there. We generate revenues off our youth. Hundreds of millions of dollars are generated from ticket quotas. That's a fact, every year, nationwide. And does everybody know who's the largest police force in the world? NYPD. Does everybody know that 38 states copy the NYPD police patrol guide procedures? So when you copy our procedures, you copy the problem. And that's what's been copied. This is why you see it in Baltimore. This is why you see it in LA. This is why you see it in Detroit. This is why you see it in Chicago. Hell, you see it in Newark. You even see it in Connecticut. Because they copy our procedures. And guess what? It happens here in our state too. Okay? So I went to Frank with this procedure, and he said to me, kid, you think we're gonna get it done? Because he went to everybody, he was skeptical. So I said, can you please look at this? He looked at it and he added his part to it, and he graced me with adding a small part to this, and I'm blessed with that. All right? Because he truly is a hero. And so what I did was I created a proposal for a new agency that would give oversight over the Department of Corrections, that would give oversight over the police department, that would give oversight over the district attorney's office, and that would give oversight over the fire department. And the reason why I picked these 4 agencies is because as a private investigator, I kept getting case after case concerning all 4 agencies of corruption. And the corruption was, everybody says police corruption, police corruption. But who really talks about the prosecutor with the corruption? Who's more corrupt? The cop that locks you up for something wrong, or the district attorney that knows you're innocent and keeps you there for 3 years? You tell me. Okay? Now, this movie showed a case of mine, Pedro Hernandez. Okay? And that case That kid spent a year in jail. He was maced in his eyes. He lost 30% of his vision, okay? Because they wouldn't let him clean the mace out of his eyes. And if anybody's ever owned a can of mace, any girls, I know some of you had one, all right? If you look in the back of the can, it says, wash immediately because it causes blindness. They didn't let him wash his eyes for more than 18 hours, okay? He lost more than 30% of his vision. This is why he wears glasses. And his vision is progressively going, okay? This kid's 20 years old, all right? He's going blind. But again, what did I say? That was my inspiration. Cases like that to write this. This proposal that I'm proposing would give the ability for normal people like you to have a location to report corruption. To report corruption to an agency without fear of retaliation on you, or for a cop to report corruption without fear of retaliation on him. That's the part Serpico wanted, okay? And do you have a place to report corruption to? No, you do not. You tell me anybody in this room who you report your prosecutor to in here. Come on. Let me tell you something. We're the first state in the United States to have prosecutorial misconduct. Thank God. But he signed it on the last day. Okay? But we got it. We are the first state now. But that's just a band-aid to the problem. What I'm presenting is a cure. Okay? What I'm presenting is this agency will provide a mechanism where they will have investigators that do not belong to the police department, that do not belong to any department. They're going to take new people straight out of college, new people that are out of John Jay or Columbia or Harvard or wherever top schools we have, and train them to be investigators that have no affiliation or loyalty to any of the other departments, so we can ensure a fair and impartial investigation for this lady, that gentleman, and that lady. And then also to ensure a fair and impartial investigation for the cops. Currently, they can't do it. We don't have nothing like that. This agency will do that. This agency will do that if you can get behind me on this. Not only would it do that, but it will also have the power to investigate and secure any evidence necessary to investigate an allegation of corruption, from the police commissioner to the person that washes the floors. Okay? So that means if the police commissioner says, no, go to hell, I'm not going to do this, you're not going to get it. Guess what? This investigator will have the power to suspend them on the spot, regardless if the mayor appointed him. Nobody in this country should be above the law. That you cannot have freedom if you cannot have justice. You cannot have liberty if you don't have justice. It is the basis of our Constitution.
Right.
There's a secure, there's a solution. You know, the proposal for this agency embodies your mission. Now, I know there's the NAACP here tonight, and I thank you for them. And I know there's other organizations that are here tonight, and I thank you for them. This embodies all of your mission to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of the rights of all persons, and to eliminate race-based discrimination due to false arrests, voided arrests, corruption, and prosecutorial misconduct by district attorneys. This agency will finally provide a level of accountability where there currently is none. I challenge all of you, all of your organizations in here, join me, get behind me, and no, take that back, stand beside me, with me, and let's go to our senators and council members and city members and say, hey, make this a reality. Here's a template nobody's ever done. If they want to massage it, make it better, change it, add to it, fine. But I'm not asking them to create something out of nothing. Serpico did that, and they got nothing. I'm a United States Army officer, 18th Airborne. I do not do nothing. I make things happen. I don't wait for somebody to create it. I make it. That's how I was taught as a leader in the Army. I've had the greatest privilege in the world, the birth of my children and to lead American soldiers for 23 years. I'm a Desert Storm veteran. I'm an Afghanistan veteran. I've served for the Department of State. I've done many things for this country. And I have fought and captured terrorists, which is documented. You can go on my website and see all that. But I'm fighting a terrorist now at my homeland. And it's a social terrorism of injustice. I'm not having it.